All right, thank you so much for your tweets. We do appreciate them. Now, having worked as the youngest paid photographer for the Sowetan newspaper when he was just 16, internationally acclaimed photographer Leeroy Jason has since been making great strides in this career field. His work is seen to resonate with the notion of diversity and inclusiveness. Now, this is evident in his forthcoming exhibition called #Everything Must Fall, that's set to celebrate Africa and shine the spotlight on minority groups. Leeroy's latest project is a photography project to spark the road to capturing our heritage and celebrate culture through the #WeAreZA campaign. To talk more about his journey in the photography landscape, Leeroy Jason is joining me now via Zoom. Leeroy, a very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning. Can you guys see me?
Yes, I can see you and hear you. Let's start with what culture and heritage means to you. I mean, you say that your roots are the Griqua, Xhosa, Tswana. Tell us more about that.
So my roots are mainly Griqua, Tswana, and Xhosa. So there's just the uniqueness in that minority group, Griqua. As I always get asked, what is that? You know. So the weight of educating and teaching people about minority groups in our country is very important.
I mean, this is part of a campaign on heritage you've worked on with Standard Bank called #WeAreZA. Give us more details on that.
Yeah, so I worked on this project. I mean, I've got Zimkita here who's able to speak about the project a little bit clearer. Zimkita, can you hear?
Yeah, I can. Can you guys hear me?
Hello?
Yes, go on, Zimkita, we could hear you.
Yes, so we worked with Leeroy on this project because we previously worked with him and he worked with Afropunk, and we wanted to document our South African heritage, but in a modern and reflective style. And we're starting a movement, not just going to be a campaign, we want it to be the behavior, but through photography. And because Leeroy is such a talented person, he was the best person and the best fit for us. And it just encompasses who we are as South Africans.
Okay, Leeroy, please introduce Zimkita to us and what her role is.
So Zimkita, Zimkita is Zimkita, would you like to introduce yourself?
I am a social media strategist at Standard Bank, and we find campaigns or campaigns that represent us as South Africans. We worked on a Women's Month campaign when we were profiling internal staff. And now with this one, we're doing WeAreZA because we're trying to encompass who we are as South Africans. And as we celebrate, we wanted to symbolize diversity and everything else, but in a modernized photographic way. So Leeroy and I have worked together for the past 4 years, I think.
Yeah.
All right, Zimkita, great chatting to you. Thank you so much. And do continue with that momentum and that partnership you have with Leeroy. Now, Leeroy, let's also pick up on this conversation. You are also working on a huge exhibition coming up next month called the #Everything Must Fall. What is this exhibition all about?
So this exhibition is to celebrate a Pride Month. So the series of work is Everything Must Fall, and it has 4 different pillars. The pillar that I'm going to be celebrating next month because of Pride Month is Gender Must Fall. Trying to eradicate the binary between sexuality and sexual preference. We really want to celebrate individualism with this body of work. Well, that's body of work that I've captured.
And talk us through some of the photographs that will be a part of this exhibition and their significance.
Oh, so it's going to be basically a series on non-binary individuals, and we've just kind of celebrated them in a very glamour. If you've seen the stuff that I've just recently did with Standard Bank, you know that my style is very commercial-esque to kind of drive the notion of being, one, appreciative of who we are and what our sexual preference is. 2 is about our stock difference and how we can celebrate each other as South Africans. And 3 is just to make sure that we are sensitive about everybody else's plight and struggles.
And you say that photography is all you know. Tell us more about how it all started. I believe it stems from being given your first camera when you were just 11.
Yeah, so when I was 11, my father, I'm birthed. I'm a hybrid from a big journalist. His name is Leeroy Jason, who covered a lot of apartheid, Kosovo, Rwanda, and when he came back from Rwanda, he gave me this camera at the age of 11, and I just started shooting from there, high school photographs. I tried going into marketing because my mom didn't want me to become a photographer. She said the money was just too funny to be a freelancer, so I should try and get something a bit more stable. But unfortunately, photography was something that just kept following me. Every time I was broke, every time I needed an outlet, I hid behind the viewfinder, which was my camera. And then years later, I made the hard decision of actually making it a career choice, which was the hardest one. I mean, I speak to young photographers all the time about what it takes to be a photographer under this landscape, especially now after COVID. So years later, I've now gone into a more commercial space to balance the art as well as the financial stability of keep on creating the work. Just like every campaign has an agenda, I make sure that my agenda is well felt with all the work that I do, which is being proudly South African, which is being great contributors to our nation in Africa, and also how we speak globally to the world about our narrative and our story. But from a commercial point of view, what I do now is I work with Olomouc, which is a production company that looks after me, which is Khumalo backwards, which is Alf Khumalo's family that has set up a production company to help us as photographers and content creators document ourselves, and yet still keep in mind the importance of being sustainable as a business.
We are all cognizant that photography has changed and evolved over the years, especially in the digital world. Just give us your thoughts on the state of photography as a profession in this country and what your highlights have been in this journey.
Well, I mean, let me start off like this. I have mixed conversations with old photographers and young photographers. Old photographers sometimes battle with the idea of digitizing their stuff and their work. Younger photographers, obviously, they're getting a lot of the shine. The spaces black photographers actually run now, or take up space in the commercial space is very important. I think it's a great way forward for its black recognition in our country, for black photographers and their contribution in our country. But I was speaking to someone the other day and they said 2012 was the highest amount of photographs being shot up to the whole history of photography because of the birth of selfies. Instagram and all these spaces have actually brought back the appreciation for photography. So for me, I'm happy about business because business is great. People are appreciating the craft and what it takes to create an image. Yes, just like singers, there are singers and then there are good singers. It's up to you to decide what you want to become.
Okay, great stuff. Great chatting to you, Leeroy. Thank you so much for this beautiful conversation.
Thank you for the
We appreciate your time.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
That was internationally acclaimed photographer Leeroy Jason, and we were just in conversation with him about his career, the latest projects, #WeAreZA campaign, and #EverythingMustFall exhibition. It is 8 o'clock.